Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to our Srimad Bhagavatam daily classes. We got a very long break. We'll just continue from where we left off in the last session. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we were reading from the 10th canto, chapter 6. And this chapter is entitled The Killing of the Demon Pūtanā. So far in this chapter, we saw that Pūtanā, Krishna sucked the life out of Pūtanā. Then we saw how the gopis, they chanted various mantras touching Krishna's body to protect him from all danger after bringing Krishna down from Pūtana's body. Then they saw that he is drinking Mother Yashoda's milk, so they were reassured that Krishna is now out of all danger. Meanwhile, Nanda Mahārāja, along with the cowherd men, was returning to Vraja from Mathura. So if you remember, while in Mathura, Nanda Mahārāja met with Vasudeva. And Vasudeva told him that he is, he said that Nanda Mahārāja should return to Vraja as soon as possible because Vasudeva is foreseeing some dangers there in Vraja. So we also saw that in so we read text 31 that when they returned, when the cowherd men headed by Nanda Mahārāja returned from Mathura, they saw on the way back, they saw the gigantic body of Pūtanā lying dead, and they were struck with wonder. So what were they thinking? So they were wonderstruck. What was their wonder? So that may be understood in various ways. Firstly, they had not seen anything so big, so gigantic before in Vrindavan. So simply seeing something so massive, so big, caused them wonder. They were struck with wonder to see something so gigantic. Then they also began to consider, where did this body come from? Did it drop from the sky? Is it a flying mountain? You know, mountains fly. They used to fly before, but their wings got cut off. So is it like a flying mountain? Because it's so big, is it like a flying mountain that dropped down in Vrindavan? So that was another consideration, or another cause for their wonder. How did it come here? First wonder was, what is this, right? Something so big. Then the second wonder was, how did it get here? Is it like a flying mountain? Or did they come to some other place, mistaking it to be Vrindavan? And they were brought to this place by the, by some mystic yogini, by the mystic powers of a yogini. Were they brought to this strange place? Because by her mystic powers, it is appearing to them like Vrindavan, but actually they are not in Vrindavan. Is that the case? So that was another cause of wonder. So they were not able to exactly figure out what had happened, and this caused them to wonder. So then we'll begin with today's verse, text 32. Let me share the screen with you. Text 32. Nūnaṁ batarṣiḥ sañjāto yogeśo va samāsa sa eva dṛṣṭo utpāto yad āhānakadundubhiḥ nūnaṁ batarṣiḥ sañjāto. So Nanda Mahārāja, along with the other gopas, exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know that Ānakadundubhi." Who is Ānakadundubhi? Vasudeva. Why is he called Ānakadundubhi? Dundubhi means these are drums played in the heavenly planets. Celestials play Dundubhi drums. There is Dundubhi and there is Dindima, like that. Different drums are named by different names. So when Vasudeva was born, all the demigods were playing their musical instruments. So because of that, Vasudeva, and why were they playing musical instruments? Because in future, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is going to appear as the son of Vasudeva. Knowing this, when Vasudeva was born, all the demigods played musical instruments, and that's how his name became Ānakadundubhi. So now Nanda Mahārāja, seeing this gigantic dead body of Pūtanā, is saying to his friends, "My dear friends, you must know that Ānakadundubhi, Vasudeva, has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us So Vasudeva had said to Nanda Mahārāja that you should go back to Vrindavan quickly because I am foreseeing some danger. So now, seeing Pūtanā's dead body, Nanda Mahārāja is saying, Vasudeva must have great mystic powers. He has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us? Nūnaṁ batarṣiḥ sañjāto. Bata. Bata means my friends, or my friends. So my dear friends, certainly Rishihi means Rishi, like a saintly person. Sañjātaha, he has become. Rishi become. So Rishi Sañjātaha. Who has become a Rishi? Vasudeva. And what else? Yoga Ishaha. Yoga Isha, the master of yoga. Yoga Ishaha. So the master of mystic power. Va samāsa saha. Or samāsa means has become saha, he Vasudeva. So he has become a great saintly person, or he has become the master of mystic power. Why? Sa eva dṛṣṭo hi utpāto. Because he was able to foresee the disturbance. Yad āhānakadundubhiḥ. Aha means he predicted. Yes. So dṛṣṭah has been seen by us. Ānakadundubhi is, yes, another name of Vasudeva. So nūnaṁ bata, certainly, my dear friends, Rishi Sañjātaha has become a Rishi. Va, or yogeśo, the master of mystic power, samāsa, has become saha, he. Who is that? He, Vasudeva. Either he has become a great saintly person, or he has become the master of mystic power. Why? Sa eva dṛṣṭo hi utpāto. Utpāto yad aha. So I'm seeing that he has predicted the disturbance, the kind of disturbance that we saw. He has predicted it ahead of time. Who? Ānakadundubhi. That's why Vasudeva is saying, Nanda Mahārāja is saying that Vasudeva has become a great saintly person or the master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us? Right? He has seen it, dṛṣṭah, and predicted it, aha. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse illustrates the difference between kshatriyas and innocent vaishyas. Who is a kshatriya here? Vasudeva. Who is a vaishya? Nanda Mahārāja. So this verse illustrates the difference between, because Nanda Mahārāja is thinking with such a simple heart, oh, Vasudeva has now become the master of mystic. He knows mystic powers. He's able to see what's going to come in future. He's able to see means he knows mystic yoga. He has mystic powers, or he's become a great saintly person. That's why he's able to see future. This is how an innocent Vaishya thinks. But what is the fact? Kshatriyas, by studying the political situation, Vasudeva knew what Kamsa was doing. So he's sending all these demons. Vasudeva is a Kshatriya. He keeps track of what's going on, who is intriguing, who's plotting. This is a Kshatriya's job. So by studying the political situation, Vasudeva could see what would happen. He was able to see what is coming. Being a Kshatriya, okay, do you know how a Kshatriya knows what's going on? Spies. A Kshatriya sees the world through his spies. And a Brahmana sees the world through? How does the Brahmana know what's going on in the world? No, not mystic power. By Shastra. Because Shastras give all information. For example, what are the symptoms in Kali Yuga? What will be the mentality of people in Kali Yuga? What type of anomalies you can see in Kali Yuga? All this is there in Shastra. So a Brahmana sees the world with the eyes of Shastra, whereas a Kshatriya sees the world with the eyes of his spies. So Vasudeva knew the calamities that are going to come because he was aware of the political situation through spies he understood. Not because of mystic powers, no. But a Vaishya, being a simple-hearted person, is thinking, oh, Vasudeva knows because he has these mystic powers. So the fact is, as a Kshatriya, by studying the political situation, Vasudeva could see what would happen. Whereas Nanda Mahārāja, the king of the agriculturalists, could only guess that Vasudeva was a great saintly person and had developed mystic powers. Vasudeva actually had all mystic powers under his control. Of course, who is Vasudeva? Vasudeva is a pure devotee. So from that aspect, a pure devotee has everything. So when one does pure devotional service, whatever one can get by other sadhanas are what? Like karma, jnana, sankhya, yoga, any of these sadhanas. When you practice these sadhanas, whatever result you get, for example, karma, let us say, you do one yagya, putra-dāra-gṛhādiṣu yagya, you want to get a son. For that, there's a specific yagya. This is karma. So by doing that karma, you'll get a son. If somebody did pure devotional service, he does not have to do any karma. Simply by pure devotional service, he can get a son. Of course, when one is doing pure devotional service, he will not even expect anything in return. But if one does exclusive devotional service, by doing that bhakti, akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. If one is doing tivra bhakti, exclusive devotional service to Krishna, then even if he has desires, all his desires will be fulfilled. And if he wants liberation, he'll get liberation also. And if he wants love of Godhead, he can get love of Godhead. That is the highest. So the point is, by doing bhakti, you get the results of all other sadhanas. You're not deprived of anything. It's not that by doing bhakti, you're deprived of the results of yoga. By doing yoga, you get mystic siddhis. You become smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. All these mystic powers are available to one who perfects Ashtanga Yoga. But a devotee automatically has all mystic powers. A pure devotee has all these mystic powers under his control without separately practicing any yoga. Example, we know when Jai Vijay came down as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they didn't come like how we come. We come means when the living entity, a conditioned soul, gets a body, the living entity, spirit soul, covered by ignorance, is given subtle and gross bodies by the material nature. Brahmaji gives him based on his karma. So the spirit soul does not have, the spirit soul has a form which is uniform. That is the form of the spirit soul, Atma. But now the spirit soul gets a material body because of karma. He's forced to take that body. When Jai and Vijay came, Jai, Vijay are eternal associates of the Supreme Lord living in the spiritual world. So their bodies were made of Swarupa Shakti or internal energy. In the spiritual world, the spirit soul gets the body made of internal energy. Whereas in the material world, in the conditioned state, the spirit soul
gets a body made of external energy. And the spirit soul itself is marginal energy. Jai Vijay, being eternal associates of the Lord in Vaikuntha Loka, had bodies made of internal energy. Now, when they came to the material world as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, this is not like a conditioned souls getting bodies in the material world. Because they are not just spirit souls, they are eternally liberated spirit souls with bodies, eternal bodies made of the internal energy. Such a body cannot be covered, forced to accept the body made of external energy. No. What happened was, Jai Vijay, by their mystic potency, like Anima, Lagima, right? Prapti, Siddhi, like this mystic potencies. My point is, those who are pure devotees, all mystic yoga powers are available to them. So as an example, I am saying, when Jai Vijay came down as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they, using these mystic powers, became very, very small. Like a spirit soul. A spirit soul is so small. We hear in Bhagavad Gita, 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. No. Thumb is the size of Paramatma. So the spirit soul is like if you take pull out a hair and take the tip of the hair, cut it into 100 parts, take one of those and cut into another 100 parts. One of those is the size. So the meaning of this is, it is so small that it cannot be cut further. You cannot find anything smaller than that. That's the idea. Spirit soul size is, it is so small that it cannot be cut further. So such a spirit soul, so that is the size of spirit soul. Now, Jai Vijay's body in the spiritual world is big. They are big. And their bodies are made of Swarup Shakti. But using mystic powers, they made their original bodies made of internal energy, they made them very small. Actually, they are big bodies, but they made them small, just like a spirit soul size, but they made very, very small. How did they do that? Using mystic powers. So my point is, even pure devotees have all mystic powers available to them, but they don't use them. They don't use them. They have no attraction. Anyabhilashita shunyam. That is the condition for pure devotional service. They don't have a desire for anything except pleasing Krishna. They are not interested in material opulences, material enjoyment. They are not interested in liberation. They are not interested in siddhis also. However, even though they are not interested, these are available to them. They are available like maid servants. They are waiting for them, waiting on them. So if these potencies, powers can be used in Krishna's service, they may use them. But they personally have no attraction for them. So we will rarely ever see pure devotees using these or exhibiting these mystic powers. Of course, there are other reasons also why they won't show mystic powers, because they don't want to make bhakti, very cheap, because if people who are not devotees see the miracles done by bhakti, mystic powers, so on and so forth, they will do bhakti for those things. But the purpose of doing bhakti is to get love of Godhead, to please Krishna. Instead of doing bhakti to please Krishna, they would want to do bhakti to get these mystic powers or to get some material result, to get a post or position or to get liberation. They want to use bhakti. So that is why we will see again and again pure devotees don't like to show miracles. They practice, and also they hide their pure devotional service. They don't want to advertise that they are so exalted, they just try to, they don't show. We see this in the case of Bharat Maharaj, and also Prithu Maharaj's case. We see they're all pure devotees, but they don't show themselves as pure devotees. So anyway, here the main point that I wanted to say is that when one is a devotee, mystic powers are already available to him. That's why Vasudeva, as a Kshatriya, if you're looking at him, then as a Kshatriya, he is aware of what's going on, what are the political intrigues, and what is the political situation, what is Kamsa doing, what is his next move, how he is trying to kill. He's suspecting that the child that is going to kill him has already taken birth. So he is sending his demons around to kill. So Vasudeva was aware of this. So from that angle, he knew that some danger was coming. But is it false to say that Vasudeva had mystic powers? When Nanda Mahārāja is thinking Vasudeva has mystic powers, is it false that Vasudeva has mystic powers? No. As a pure devotee, all mystic powers are under his control. Otherwise, how could he have become the father of Krishna? If it were not so, how could he have become the father of Krishna? No. Why? Because Krishna is the father of all living entities. Who can be Krishna's father? He is the origin of everyone. Everyone is coming from Krishna. How can Krishna have a father from whom he has come? Yet Vasudeva is the father of Krishna. This is the mystic power. So if Vasudeva didn't have mystic powers under his control, how could he become the father of Krishna? That's the question. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, but in fact, he foresaw. The fact is, Vasudeva foresaw the calamities in Braja by studying Kamsa's political activities, and thus warned Nanda Mahārāja to take precautions. Although Nanda Mahārāja thought that Vasudeva had predicted this incident through wonderful mystic powers. So the fact is, so we see from both angles. From the angle of pure devotee, of course, he had mystic powers, but also we said devotees don't use their mystic powers unnecessarily. For themselves, they don't use mystic powers. They just act like, ordinary people. Their power, their glory is their love for the Supreme Lord. That's the glory of devotees. Their surrender to the Supreme Lord. That is the glory of a pure devotee. Not their mystic powers or their wealth or their position or their beauty or all these things. Even if they have no attachment or no dependence on these things. Their dependence is completely on Krishna. This is the glory of pure devotees. So here Vasudeva could tell about the dangers that are going to happen in Braja. How was he able to tell? Is it because he's a pure devotee, therefore he had mystic powers, and using those mystic powers, he's able to predict? Should we take like that? No. He, as a Kshatriya, was aware of Kamsa's political activities, and therefore he warned Nanda Mahārāja to take precautions. But what did Nanda Mahārāja think? Nanda Mahārāja thought Vasudeva was able to predict this incident through his wonderful mystic powers. So that's why in the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that this verse is illustrating the difference between Kshatriyas and innocent Vaishyas. How does a Vaishya see and how does a Kshatriya see? So Nanda Mahārāja is thinking, oh, Vasudeva has wonderful mystic powers, that's why he is able to tell this. Whereas Vasudeva, he is able to tell because
As a Kshatriya, he keeps track of the political situation. By mystic powers gained through the practice of Hatha Yoga, one can study and understand the future. Of course, by practicing Ashtanga Yoga, one develops mystic potencies. When you perfect Ashtanga Yoga, you get siddhis, where you are able to predict what is going to happen in future. That is also possible. Okay, so because we started after a long break, I will do only one verse today. We did text 32. Nūnaṁ batarṣiḥ sañjāto yogeśo va samāsa sa eva dṛṣṭo utpāto yad āhānakadundubhiḥ. So Nanda Mahārāja and other gopas exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know that Ānakadundubhi Vasudeva has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us?" Like that. And also, let me see if there is anything in addition. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, certainly Vasudeva is the Rishi in our family. Nanda Mahārāja is saying, certainly Vasudeva is the Rishi in our family. For being all-knowing, he has predicted correctly. So because he's a Rishi, he's all-knowing, and that's why he's able to predict. Through practice of Ashtanga Yoga, Vasudeva has acquired the power to see the future. Thus his glories forever shine. So same, whatever we have discussed, Srila Prabhupada has discussed in the purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also has given the same explanation. And then now we will read from Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, we had started reading chapter 13. Chapter 13, let me see. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. 1 second. So we were reading the 13th chapter. Actually, we started the last section. Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 sections. First, middle, and the last section. First 6 chapters are dealing with Nishkama Karma Yoga. Middle 6 chapters, that means from chapter 7 to chapter 12, is dealing with devotional service, bhakti. And the last 6 chapters, beginning with chapter 13 to 18, are dealing with Jnana Yoga. So we had started reading the last section. So we started the 13th chapter, and in that we discussed the transcendental diagram for some time. I'll just give you a quick recap, because we didn't cover too many verses. We actually covered up to verse 7 in the 13th chapter. So the chapter started like this. Arjuna asked Krishna 6 questions. What are the 6 questions asked by Arjuna to Krishna? Prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetragyam evacha etad veditumichhami jnanam geyam cha Keshava. So he is asking, what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Kshetra, what is Kshetragya, what is Jnanam, and what is Jnayam. I desire to know this, O Keshava, like this. So what were the 6 questions? What is Prakriti, what is Purusha? What is Kshetra, what is Kshetragya? Kshetram means field, Kshetragya means knower of the field. And what is Jnanam, knowledge, and what is Jnayam, what is the object of knowledge. Then in the second verse, Lord Krishna began to answer the question, beginning with Kshetram. What is Kshetram? Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidiyate. This body is called kshetram. Etad yo vetti tam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. So one who knows this field is known as kshetrajna, the knower of the field. Okay, actually I'll share the screen with you. So idam shariram kaunteya kshetram ityabhidiyate etad yo vetti tam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. This body is kshetram, and one who knows this body is known as kshetrajna. So Krishna answered two questions. What is kshetram and what is kshetrajna? But there are two knowers of the body. There's not just one. Third verse is saying, kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So the knower of the kshetra is who? The spirit soul. But I am also there. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi. Know me also to be kshetrajna. Cha. I am also. That means there is two knowers of the field. The living entity and the super soul. But what is the difference? I am sarva kshetreshu. Mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu. That means I know all bodies. So there are two kshetrajnas, two knowers. One knower is the living entity, and the other knower is myself. That means as Paramatma. But what is the difference between both the knowers? One knower knows only his body, that is the living entity. Whereas the other knower, myself or Paramatma, knows all the bodies, not just one body, but I know all the bodies. That's the difference. Kshetra, kshetrajnanyor jnanam. So now the next question was, what is jnanam and what is jneyam? So Krishna is answering jnanam. Kshetra, kshetrajnayor jnanam. One who knows this kshetra and kshetrajna. And in kshetrajna there are two, the living entity and the super soul. So one who knows these three, the body, the living entity, and the super soul. Right? So knowing the body, the living entity, and the super soul is known as knowledge, jnanam. Yatta jnanam matam mama. So in 3 verses, Lord Krishna has answered what is kshetram, what is kshetrajna, what is jnanam. Then tat kshetram yatcha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yad sacha yo yad prabhavascha tat samasena meshrinu. So now Krishna is going to answer. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity, how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what is his influence. So I'm going to tell you samasena, right? I'm going to explain this kshetram to you. In summary. So now please hear my brief description. Samasena means in brief. I'm going to describe all this. Yatcha, yadrikcha, yadvikari, yatascha, yad. So 6 things are there. Yatcha, yadrikcha, yadvikari, yataha, cha, yad. And also, yaha yat prabhavasya. What is the influence? What is the influence of this body? All this I'm going to explain in summary. Krishna is saying. Then Rishibir Bahudha Geetam Chandobir Vividhai Prithak Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Hetu Madbir Vinishchitaihi. Now, what I'm going to explain to you in summary can be found, the details of that can be found where in the Upanishads, in the Brahma Sutras. So, Rishibir Bahuda Geetam. in many ways, in detail, the rishis have explained this. Chandobir vividhai prithak. Chandobir means in Vedic hymns, in the Upanishads, you will find the details of what I'm going to say here. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving in summary. One thing we should understand is the essence of the Vedas is called Upanishads. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads. One more time. The essence of the Vedas is Upanishads, and the essence of the Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, you will find the essence of all the Upanishads. In other words, what you find in Bhagavad Gita, the details of what you find in Bhagavad Gita can be found in the Upanishads, because in Bhagavad Gita you have, it is the essence. So you won't find the details in Bhagavad Gita. If you want to know the details, you will have to refer to the Upanishads. So that is why here Lord Krishna is saying that the sages have given the details in many ways, and you will find them in various ways, variously described in the Upanishads. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Vedas, right? Essence of the Vedas is Upanishads, and essence of Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita. Also, essence of Vedas is called Vedanta. Vedanta means the essence of the Vedas. And this Vedanta is given in the form of sutras. Sutras means very small phrases, but it has so much meaning inside. But it is not understandable to common man. An expert will have to open it up and explain it. Vedanta is the essence of Vedas, and the essence of Vedas is given in the form of sutras, and that is called Vedanta Sutras. And another name for Vedanta Sutra is Brahma Sutras. Vedanta Sutras are given to us by Srila Vyasadeva. And same Vyasadeva has once again explained those Brahma Sutras in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on the Brahma Sutras. So Vedas have all knowledge. The essence of Vedas is called Vedanta. And Vedanta is given to us in the form of sutras known as Vedanta Sutras or Brahma Sutras by Vyasadeva. And the same Vyasadeva, the author of Vedanta Sutras, has given us the commentary on those sutras in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. One more thing is, for somebody to read Vedas, he has to be twice born. He has to be a Dvija. Otherwise, he won't be able to, he's not qualified to hear, to recite those mantras, Vedanta or Vedic mantras. Because Vedas are given in the form of mantras. To recite those mantras, one needs qualification. He has to be a Dvija. However, Puranas and Itihasas, which also have Vedatvam in them, that means they are also Vedas. Original Veda is divided into 5 parts. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and the 5th one is Panchama Veda, called Puranas and Itihasas. The first 4, Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda, cannot be understood by everyone. Only the twice born can read them, recite them, Brahmanas. However, the Puranas and Itihasas are available to everyone, and they are given in the form of explanation of the mantras in the first 4 Vedas. First 4 Vedas are in the form of mantras. Those mantras are explained
in the form of history, stories in Puranas and Itihasas. This is easily understandable by everyone. Therefore, even those who are not twice born, like the Shudras or the Brahma Bandhus or women, they can also understand through Puranas. They are qualified. So that is why the Brahma Sutras, which is the essence of the Vedas, is given by Vyasadeva in the form of the Brahma Sutras are explained by Vyasadeva, are given to us in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary of Brahma Sutras. So what did we understand from this? Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Upanishads. Upanishads are essence of Vedas, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Upanishads. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita is very important to us. In Bhagavad Gita, you will find, in essence, the details. If you want, you have to go to Upanishads. And similarly, the essence of Vedas is Vedanta, Vedanta Sutras, right? This is the essence of the Vedas. And this essence of Vedas is elaborated, explained nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are our most important books because they give us the essence of the Vedas. That is the point that Krishna is making in this verse. Rishibhir bahuda gitam chandobhir vividhai pritak brahma sutra padaischaiva hetumadbhir vinishchitaihi. So, hetumadbhir means with cause and effect. That means very analytically, very clearly, everything is explained. The details you will find in Brahma Sutras and in the Vedas, Upanishads. But here I am only giving you the summary. That is what Lord Krishna is saying. Then we also covered texts 6 and 7. Let me see. 6 and 7. Yes. So now in this verse, what is this kshetram made up of is explained in text 6 and 7. Krishna is explaining. Already in the second verse, Krishna said this body is kshetram. Now in the 5th verse, Krishna is saying this knowledge of the body and the knower of the body is explained in detail in Upanishads, but I am going to tell you here in summary. What is that summary? 6 and 7 is giving the summary of this kshetram or the body. Mahabhutanya hankaro buddhir avyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya gocharaha ichchadvesha sukham dukkham sanghataschetana dhritihi etad kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. The 5 great elements. What are the 5 great elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay, these are the gross elements. 5 great elements or gross elements. Then what are the subtle elements? False ego, intelligence, and the unmanifested, avyakta. Unmanifested means it's prakriti. So whatever is not mentioned here, so the false ego and intelligence is mentioned. But you have mahat, chitta, then false ego, intelligence, mind, right? Avyakta is before the manifestation of all these things. Before the 23 elements are manifested, that prakriti, at that stage, prakriti is known as avyakta. Avyakta. After, that means before the Lord glance, that is avyakta. When the Lord glances, then, that avyakta becomes impregnated with all the living entities and also Kala Shakti from the Lord. And then that prakriti, avyakta is now agitated. The 3 modes are agitated. And then now she is about to produce the elements one after another, beginning with Mahat Tattva. So at that stage, when she's about to produce Mahat Tattva, she's called, that Prakriti in that stage is called Pradhana. So there is Avyakta, there is Pradhana, and there is Prakriti. Prakriti means Prakriti is present as principle in all the elements that are produced from there onwards. Mahat, false ego, then you have senses, mind, intelligence, gross elements, subtle elements like that, sense objects. So these are all these comprise the kshetram. 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested or avyakta, the 10 senses and the mind, the 5 sense objects. Apart from this, desire, hatred. Where is desire and hatred located? In the mind. Happiness, distress, also in the mind. The aggregate, that is Mahatattva, aggregate, the total material energy, aggregate. The life symptoms and convictions, all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. So next, today we want to cover texts 8 to 12, although we are running out of time already. We'll just begin. But text 8 to 12 are jnana sadhanas. These are called jnana sadhanas. That means the practices of a jnana yogi. This is the sadhana for a jnana yogi. Who is a jnana yogi? Jnana yogi is one who has successfully completed nishkama karma yoga, and he has achieved purification of heart. He got antahkarana shuddhi. When he gets antahkarana shuddhi, now he gives up home, he gives up all karma and takes sannyas. And now he practices jnana sadhanas. What are his practices? That is given in these verses. You have amānitvam, adambhitvam, ahiṁsā, kṣāntir, ārjavam, ācāryopāsanaṁ, śaucaṁ, stairyam, ātma-vinigrahaḥ, indriyārtheshu vairāgyam, anahankara evaca, janma-mṛtyu-jarā-vyādhi, duḥkha-doṣānudarśanam, asaktir anabhishvangaha, putra-dāra-gṛhādiṣu, nityam ca sama-cittatvam, ishta-nishtopapattishu, cānanya-yogena, bhaktir-avyabhicharini, vivikta-deśa-sevitvam, jana-saṁsadi, adhyātma-jñāna-nityatvaṁ, tattva-jñānārtha-darshanam, etaj-jñānam iti proktam, ajñānam yad atonyatha. So in this we will see there are 20 practices, jnana sadhanas. What are they? So we'll just read, we'll see how much we'll be able to read today. Actually, the time is up already. Big purport. So we'll have to take one quality at a time. We won't read the whole purport, but we'll just read the translation and we'll see how much. Translation: humility, pridelessness, non-violence. So these are, if you see the Sanskrit, amānitvam, amanina manadena. Amanina means, mana means respect. Amanina means not expecting respect for the self. Manadena means respecting others. Not expecting any respect for self, but giving all respect to others, right? So what is that? That is humility. That is humility. So practicing humility is a jnana sadhana for the jnana yogi. Amānitvam, humility, I think dabba. Adambhitvam, dambha, right? Pridelessness, like this. So amānitvam, adambhitvam, ahiṁsā, non-violence. Kṣānti means tolerance. Ārjavam means simplicity. Ācāryopāsanaṁ means serving, worshipping the spiritual master. Śaucaṁ, cleanliness. Stairyam means steadfastness. Sthirata, right? Sthir, steady, steadfastness. ātma-vinigrahaḥ, controlling, self-control. Maybe in 5 minutes. Just leave it inside. Ātma-vinigrahaḥ, indriya artheshu. That means controlling the self in relation to the senses. That means controlling your senses, not allowing the senses to go after sense objects. Vairagyam, renunciation. So like this, we are seeing all these qualities. Qualities means these are actually practiced. Remember, the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are speaking about Jnana Yoga. This is not the practice for devotees. This is the practice for Jnana Yogis. However, so this is not practiced by pure devotees. Acha. Okay, it's not fun. So, yes. So these practices he is practicing. Who is practicing? Jnana Yogi is practicing. Does a pure devotee practice these things? No, he doesn't practice these things. A pure devotee is simply practicing. Practicing means he is engaging in direct devotional service. What is example? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, like this. There are 64 limbs of bhakti given by Srila Rupa Goswami. He'll do only that, a pure devotee, 24/7 for the pleasure of Krishna. He won't feel that first I have to practice humility, then I will be. No, he won't feel the dependence on anything. Directly he'll be engaged in pure devotional service. But pure devotional service is very rare, right? It's not very common. So then what about those who are aspiring for pure devotional service, who are not yet in pure devotional service, but they're aspiring? They can take help from these, right? So humility, practicing humility and practicing pridelessness, ahiṁsā, he can take help. These are jnana sadhanas. Important point to remember here is these are practices for a jnana yogi. For a jnana yogi, it is required. That's the point. But in bhakti, it's not required, but one can take help in the initial stages. Before getting full faith in bhakti, after which he will be doing only Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma-nivedanam. Only direct devotional service he will be doing. But before coming to that stage, he can take help from these. Why? Because when one practices these things, one comes to sattva guna. Sattva guna. Sattva guna means the mode of goodness. When we are in the mode of goodness, what is the benefit? Sattvat sanjāyate jnanam. When you are in the mode of goodness, you will not identify yourself with the body. One who is in the mode of goodness can see that, can realize that I'm not this body, but I'm transcendental to this body. I am not this body, like that. That is there. Also, for those who are aspiring to be pure devotees, for them, to get that faith, how do you get that faith? That faith you get from scripture. From scripture, when we understand scripture properly, then we get faith in bhakti. So when you are in the mode of goodness, you are able to grasp the message of Shastra as it is. You don't get some other meaning. You don't derive some other meaning. You'll be able to grasp the message as it is. Like Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why we have so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita? Because the people are in different modes, in the modes of passion and ignorance. Same Bhagavad Gita, so many people are reading, but different people are giving different interpretations. They are not able to grasp the message as it is. So to be able to, of course, first of all,
we cannot understand the message on our own. Even if we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand on our own, because firstly, we need the mercy of a pure devotee. Parama Swatantra Bhagavad Bhakta Sangha Tat Kripa Jata Mangalodayena. That Mangalodaya will happen when we receive the mercy of a pure devotee. That is the beginning. After we receive the mercy of pure devotee also, now we have to hear from Shastra, from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. But when we hear to understand the message as it is important that we remain in the mode of goodness. If we are in the modes of passion and ignorance, then even though we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, we will not be able to grasp the message as it is. So therefore, to be in the mode of goodness, one can take help from these jnana sadhanas. Practicing humility, pridelessness, one can take help. But simply practicing these things is not pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Also, you should do it again and again and again. Not just, I did in the morning, every morning I'll do a little bit, so now I'm a pure devotee. No, that's not pure devotional service. Not just part-time, it's a full-time. And that also it is done not expecting anything else in return. Or by doing this, I will get liberation from this material world. Not like that. Only for the pleasure of Krishna. Jivara Swarupohai Krishnara Nityadas. Being a living entity, my constitutional position is to serve the Supreme Lord. So I will simply serve the Supreme Lord. No expectation. And when I am engaged in this way, the Lord is pleased. That's all. Like this. Not only that much, there's more. Jnana karma adhyātma-vinigrahaḥ. This type of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc., doing again and again and again, only for the pleasure of the Lord. And this bhakti is not covered by karma or jnana. Means, how can your bhakti be covered by karma? While doing that bhakti, if I'm identifying myself as a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a Vaishya, or I'm from this community, I'm from this family, like this, then my bhakti becomes covered by karma, because I come to bodily identification. Or because I'm a Brahmana, if I don't do my Brahmana duties, I will get sin. That means, again, karma is coming. And that karma will cover my bhakti. So if that type of attitude is there, I'm still not in pure devotional service. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam. I should come out of all upadhis. Tatparatvena nirmalam. And tatparatvena nirmalam. Mala means contamination. Nirmala means no. What is that contamination? Wanting some material result, wanting liberation, wanting some siddhis. This is contamination. Nirmala means there is no contamination. Only for the pleasure of Krishna. Coming out of all bodily designations. That means that bhakti is not covered by karma, jnana, sankhya, yoga, anything. This is pure devotional service. So to come to that stage, initially we may take help from these jnana sadhanas. What these jnana sadhanas are and the purport, that we will read tomorrow. Because today I just started after a long time. I just wanted to, kind of warm up. So I'll just read the translation. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, And besides this, whatever there may be, is ignorance. So if you remember, what was Arjun's question? What is jnanam? He had asked. So in one line earlier, Krishna said, knowledge of kshetram means the body. Kshetrajna means the knower of the body. And there are two knowers, individual soul and super soul. So knowledge of the body, individual soul and super soul. This is called jnanam. Like that, Krishna explained. Now in detail, what is jnanam is said. All this, because these are jnana sadhanas. So this is jnanam, Krishna is saying. Anything other than this is ignorance. It's not jnanam. Now then, in the purport, each of these jnana sadhanas will be elaborated on. That we will see later. So I will end the session here. You have any question, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Mataji, for starting again. We were longing, Mataji. We need your, what to say, Mataji, guidance. To be steady in our bhakti, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. I'm also, I also need all of you so that we can steadily hear from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. It's very important. Of the 5 most important limbs of bhakti that Srila Rupa Goswami has given, one is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Second is associating with devotees. Third is worshipping the deities. Fourth is residing in a holy place like Mathura or Vrindavan, like that. And fifth one is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So these 5 are extremely potent. He gave us 64 limbs, and at the end, after giving 64, he said these 5 are most potent. And if we are not able to physically live in the holy place, then mentally we can live in the holy place. That means, you can, through your mind, so you can, so externally, while externally living, if you're not able to physically go, then in your mind you can live in the holy place, like that. But these 5 are very, very important angas. Chanting Bhagavatam, hearing and reading Bhagavatam, worshipping the deity, associating with devotees, and living in the holy place. Of course, the temple is also, like a holy place. So, so that's why this Bhagavatam daily, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, every day we have to hear from Bhagavatam. What will happen if we hear every day? Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. By Nityam, always hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu, anarthas, whatever anarthas we have, which are blocking our progress in bhakti, those anarthas will be almost all anarthas, almost like 99%, almost all anarthas will be removed simply by this one activity of always hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada says, the other day in ISKCON Philly, I gave class on Thursday, last Thursday. So in that verse, this is third canto, 19th chapter, text 38, last verse. So there in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, if one is able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam all the time, throughout his life, then certainly at the end of this life, he will go back to Godhead, like that. But one is not able to do like that all the time hearing. How should you begin? At least we should set some time. Every day you set some time to hear Bhagavatam. That is the beginning. That is the beginning. By doing that, eventually we want to come to the stage of constantly always hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a small attempt, so that I am also hearing, because I will be reading, And anyone else who is able to do, if they are benefited, then that is double plus. So I will do this. That's my desire. Let us see.
We are so much benefited, Mataji, because now we are been said that we need to read Bhagavatam, but when we read, we are not able to get into the deep meaning, understanding, Mataji.
Yes.
So, like when we hear from you, from Acharyas and all, it really helps us in
Yes.
understanding it properly, Mataji.
Yes.
That is, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam
Sañjāto
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo.
Namo.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.